Yo, getting back to Sage Ramble TV episode probably 18 or 17. We don't need to fact check that, but either way, we got a special guest on board here today, which is Mason Church. To give you some background to how I've met Mason, we've known each other for a little bit more than 2 years now. So Mason is actually the guy who brought me into remote high ticket selling. He helped me, helped me crafting like outreach messages to business owners, helped me just like get into connections into his network, all that good stuff, and just consistently provided feedback for me to up my flow and up my sales game overall. And the progress there, like the first 5 months, it was wildly successful. I think that was the best ever coaching one-to-one setting I've ever had anywhere, really. But yeah, it's enough talk for me, man. Mason, I'm gonna let you chime in with a couple of words from yourself, and then we'll get going.
Yeah, well, dude, I'm stoked to be here. I think you're probably one of the favorite clients I've ever gotten to work with, and seeing your growth was absolutely mind-boggling. I remember seeing you, like, if I may share, like where you were actually at, like a little
Go
bit,
ahead.
like yeah, like literally, I remember seeing him sell his parents to help fund the coaching, and there's
Uh,
a language barrier, and it was one of the most incredible conversations I've ever gotten to witness. He's like, "Mom, we're doing this," and she's like, "What are we doing?" "We're sending a couple $1,000s to the U.S. and I'm gonna make a lot of money." And in the time, it probably looked a little sketchy, but I think you ended up making money that your parents probably thought you were selling drugs instead of selling coaching. So stoked to be here, man.
Yep. That actually happened. I tell that story quite a lot, and they still hit me back up. Like, David, what are you doing again? They still think I'm doing something illegal. So it's so
Maybe.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah, man. 100%. 100%.
And I think Chance has been a part of that because we've spoke about each other's journey quite a lot.
Hmm.
But what really fascinates about your journey, which I follow a lot, because brain freeze. Like I said, it's 1 a.m. But I think very early on, you were my first role model coming into, remote high tech selling. As men, we usually seek like a higher role model, and it's
Yeah.
very, easy to have like just having someone and then follow his steps, right? And I think you kind of like got into that. I wouldn't say father figure, but something similar to that position heading into some certain career. But you didn't have a straight line journey yourself, but you were starting out in corporate affiliate marketing and networking. And I want to, dive deeper into that stuff because I think that's very inspiring for a lot of people starting
Yeah.
in 9 to 5 and then getting into, like the deep of faith,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. 100%. Happy to kind of cover that. So about what are we? We're March 2023 right now, which is crazy to even think that. It's almost been 3 years of a pandemic at this point. Am I calculating that right? 21, 22, 23. We're like 3 years into the pandemic, but just before the pandemic started, I was actually a medical device engineer, and it, I loved engineering in school, like as like the actual college process. I had a lot of fun, but the second I got into it as a 9 to 5 job, clocking in, clocking out, same time every day, in and out, in and out, in and out, and the monotony and just like the hamster wheel of it, it was brutal for me. How that actually panned out is I started like having physical chronic pain, which is crazy to say. I was like in my early 20s, and I started having like copious amounts of like physical pain, crazy physical issues that like just spontaneously erupted out of nowhere. And in that time, it got so bad that I couldn't do my job. And I actually got fired from the engineering job that I had just spent 4 years, $200,000 of tuition to get that job. I got fired. And in that day, it was just like, I have no idea where I'm going to go next or what I'm going to do. And I guess what I realized is like the one skill set I did have is I still had my voice, even though I had these physical issues at the time. I was like, I'm going to have to use my voice and find a way to make income. And where that went to at first is like somebody enrolled me into a network marketing company. Actually, Desmond, who was one of your former bosses, you might not have known this part. Desmond, who was your boss or sales manager for the first job that I helped you get, he enrolled me into an MLM. And that was my first go at sales. And I absolutely.
Let me guess. Isogenics?
Isogenics, dude. Isogenics, bro. So like, come get that protein, baby. Get that protein. You want to get lean? You want to make gains? Come buy some overpriced protein on recurring subscription. I get commission every time, baby. It was look, it was good experience, and in that it forced me to reach out to people, to connect to people, to see what it was like to cold approach people all over the internet. But as far as the actual income, it was not life changing, man. Like the stats on MLM are out. Like most people really, really struggle, truly, and most of them are never even profitable. But I made 1,500 my first year of MLM, and that was before. That was gross. That wasn't net. The net was probably less because the products I was buying every month, and I was busting my ass every week, putting in many, many hours as a side hustle. I think I made 11 sales my first year in MLM, and I made $1,500. So it was a very humble start to sales, but ultimately that led to me finding my next steps, finding the right communities, finding the high ticket space. And when I found that, I was like, holy shit, I'm going to take that same grit and put it into something that actually works. And that's how I found the first few jobs, first few connections. And honestly, once I took that grit plus like actual sales skill set, learning from people like Jeremy Miner, Cole Gordon, Jordan Belford, even Grant Cardone, I studied all of it like that. I combined all of that and it just took off from there, man. It was insane. But if you can avoid MLM, I'm not totally opposed to it, but just pick a higher ticket product than a protein shake, bro. Like if you're trying to make money off the skin of a commission of a protein shake, like you're gonna have a rough living. I'm gonna be real.
Yo, did you ever hear of Verve? Was that ever popular where you were?
Oh yeah, I've heard of Verve.
Bro, that was crazy. When I was in like middle school, all the high schoolers were trying to slang that to everybody.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is buy your starter package and then you get in and you can make all this money and do this and they'll give you like a BMW if you get to this many sales. There was this guy who went to my high school that actually got all the way up to the BMW. Like they give you a BMW.
Yeah.
But once you dip below a certain amount of sales, they repo it. And he dipped below, and they literally came and repoed the BMW that he won.
Yeah,
that he earned.
It's crazy. They either repo.
I was like,
they either repo the BMW or they leave you with a payment plan on it, and you have to pick up the loan on it.
Oh my God, that's wild.
Yeah,
that's so P.
Yeah, dude. So I had a friend, Justin, out in Santa Barbara who did make it to BMW status, and he still has that BMW, but they left him with a payment plan.
Bro, and that was
off?
probably some shitty ass payment plan too.
It was like probably really high interest for sure.
Yeah, like 12% APR.
Or worse, Like there's just a shark loan, and they're like, "We'll get you a BMW." And they're like, "We got you. We'll get you that BMW." But
oh, you dropped a rank? Well, the loan's yours now. Good luck.
Yeah. It's like, go sell more product,
There
kid.
you
Go sell. But yeah, I don't know. I guess like MLM was a solid foundation. It gave me a baseline. It gave me grittiness. It helped me, I don't know, just get over hearing no. That's all I heard. I heard thousands of no's, endless no's, only 11 yeses. And the saddest thing was the whole goal of MLM is to build your downline. And the one time I got one of my downline to actually make a sale, it got refunded immediately because the person had an allergic reaction to the product. That was terrible. So like literally the one downline sale I got refunded. I was like, I'm fucking done. I quit. I'm over it. Got like $43 off the downline sale and then it refunded and they took it back.
Bro, man.
So it's been a bit of a growth path from there to here.
But that's good, right? I mean, I think every salesperson, or at least through us three, we've had like a period of time where it's just been grind. Probably not going the way that we would like it to go, but the grind, like very early on, has helped us, progress even further.
Bro,
Because
I'm grinding now. What are you talking about? I
It
sent you
never
my
I
ends.
saw your
calendar,
calendar.
bro.
He got 20 calls. The other closer at Chance's gig got canned, and now
Yeah,
Chance
yeah.
is taking all the calls. He got like 20 calls.
In
Yeah,
a
I
day?
got 30 booked for next week already. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
in a
merging
week?
These
two
are
calendars.
these
30
are these are triage
triage?
calls.
Okay.
So I had 20 15-minute setting calls today.
Just from today?
Yeah, that was just today. That was just Friday, bro. I had 20 booked today. And then tomorrow or Monday I've got 16 and Tuesday I've got 14 already. Our
Nice.
ads, they get a lot of volume, but like 50% show up. So I'm just throwing a shit ton on there because only like half are going to show up. So
Yeah, even 10-minute calls if it's that low of a show rate. I've seen people do a lot of 10-minuters and just say fuck it.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Especially because on those, I'm making 15% and the product's 10K. So it's like,
That's
fuck
may
it.
as well. Yeah, may as well get a
Yeah,
lot of them.
exactly.
What are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
selling?
They're, it's an Amazon arbitrage model. So like, but we focus on books. It's called bookprofits.com. So we teach
Sweet.
people how to sell on Amazon, but we specialize in books because the profit margin is 50% and above. So
Okay.
like, it's like it's like e-com on Amazon, like those type of deals, but it's books. Like it's
Okay.
professional books that you buy used and you sell them on Amazon Prime for a profit. Super lucrative, man. Like our students make 50K in 6 months. We just had a lady make 33,000 in January, and she was with us for 11 months. One guy made 78,000 in January. Like it's really good if you stick it out. It's more of a long-term game, so you're not going to make a shit ton of money like in your first 5, 6 months. But if you stick it out and you reinvest, our students are making like some of the top students are making dumb money, like 4 million a year. It's
Nice.
crazy.
Yeah,
It's
that's
crazy.
fun. Go sell some books,
But yeah,
boys.
man, it's crazy. Like I never would have thought about the business model, but I got blessed, man. The guys I'm with have been in business for 6.5 years. They've had over 8,400 students, all the success stories you can think of, man. Makes it a pretty easy sell outside of 10K because it's a biz op. A lot of people who want a biz op don't have 10K sitting around. So
Yeah, it's the nature of the
hey,
beast.
it is, man. It is. What about you, man? What are you selling? I think David told me, but I forget, to be honest with you.
I've sold a lot of
Well, you
different things.
recently moved, right?
Yeah, I've sold a lot of, right now I'm selling a biz op as well. It's helping people quit their jobs to become copywriters. Usually like the niche is typically like moms, nurses, teachers,
Okay,
mainly
cool.
female demographic, and they want to work from
That's
home.
lit. My glasses are killing me.
But yeah, dude, it's going really, really well, crushing it. Before that, I was selling for Jeremy Minor, 7th level. Prior to
Wow,
that,
that's a fucking name to have on your resume.
yeah, and then prior to that, I was selling for Taylor Conroy at Thought Leader, which is like an offer to help you get on a TEDx stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you
Yo,
heard
I
of it?
had yeah, I actually got connected to them via a recruiter. Long story short, the offer I'm on now, lead flow was down, not anymore. I was gonna leave, but they offered me a fat base to stay while they ramp up ads. So I ended up telling people in my pipeline, like, hey, sorry, I'm sticking
Nice.
out with these guys. But
Makes
yeah,
sense.
I had them
Is
in my pipeline. They seemed like a very, very good offer, man. So
No joke.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah. I mean, the online space is like literally just a this little thing. There's not that many people really in it. I mean, there are, but there's not.
There's a
yep.
ton, but the good ones are few and far between, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But
Yep.
I kind of like the theme around maybe the biggest struggle or some of the lowest moments and then maybe some of the highest moments. So I'm curious, David, from your end too, man, like what do you feel like's been, because you've come a long ways too since I worked with you. I don't even know where you're at right now. What do you feel like were some of the lows and what do you feel like have been some of the best highs for you so far?
The best highs are probably the month I actually blasted everything, like in outbound and inbound, just closing and setting.
Yeah.
And my mom had that conversation with me, like that serious chat. Like I could make more than that month, but I'm still, just gonna refer that month as one of my, milestone months, right? Because
Yeah.
an impact to what they saw in what I was doing and what I got from it.
Yeah.
But the lowest ones must have been before I met you, right?
Yeah.
That struggle of not really doing anything, but thinking I'm actually doing something.
What is that? What do you mean by that? Like, can you, like, what's an example of that? For all the people out there who think they're doing something, but they're not actually doing anything.
That's true. So just following like free courses, like implementing strategies, but free courses, like they're not going in depth enough for you to have a full like understanding of what should be done, right? Because I saw a huge difference what I learned from YouTube and then learning with you.
Mm-hmm.
It was like night and day.
Yeah.
Like instant switch. To give some context, in the coaching program that I joined with you, like the main goal for us was hey, let's land a solid gig in 3 months.
Yep.
We landed a solid gig in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And I continued those practices, and now I just made a YouTube video on like the foundations I've learned over months to get like 36 positions in 9 months, which is solid.
And did you sell for all of them, or you got 36 yeses?
I got 36 yeses.
Pretty fucking solid.
Hey, you're hired.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Which one did you take, dude? Jesus.
I haven't taken anyone. I'm running my own thing.
Okay.
I'm just sending them out. You're a good guy.
You just arbitrage. You just like pay for a position. You just like now you're just like a recruiter off of that. Jeez.
I mean, the way that Chance met the sales recruiter for Thought Leader were from Riker, and
Joey. Was it Joey?
Joey.
Or was it Riker who was the Thought Leader recruiter? Because he was recruiting for them for a little bit, I believe.
Yeah, that's Riker, and Riker has an interesting effect on people. Talking with him, I'm like, dude, I should become a sales recruiter. This is cool. Like, this is interesting. This is great.
Yeah, Riker was
that's kind of like where I'm headed.
Riker was my first coach, so if he hadn't slapped the shit out of me, then I wouldn't have slapped the shit out of you. So you can thank him for that.
It's going full circle, and then I'm meeting with Riker now, and like, hey, let's partner up.
That's awesome, man. That's smart. I think that's a good idea. I think you'll have fun with him too. Good dude. Absolutely incredible human being. So what, you went from, had you even had a job, like an actual job? How old were you when we met?
I was 18. 18, 19.
And prior to that, had you had any like regular 9 to 5 jobs?
No, I was just right out of like studying, and then I was like, well, what should I do now?
I met you in like Johnny Anton's community, right?
Yep. So it was Johnny Anton and Jason Capital, and they were teaching, how to sell agency services without really delivering on those services, right? You're having like a white labeling thing. I was like doing that thing. And I managed to get 3 clients, which was so good about it. But then I was like, shit, I'm going negative because don't know about finance. I'm missing all the deadlines. I'm paying a lot of late fees, and I'm not making money. So it's like, let's just shut it down and go into sales.
Just focus on like one thing at a time.
Yeah, dude. I was like bookkeeping. I was like, what's bookkeeping?
Yeah, you're trying to learn.
And this guy was an accountant. Like, bro, this young lad is not going anywhere.
Yeah, you got to learn like 8 skills at once. So you went from never having a job to making enough to be at like probably a 6-figure rate for your first job. Am I wrong?
No, you're accurate. That's it.
Yeah.
It's
how many
working remotely, bro.
Yeah. How many 18-year-olds do you think say that typically without going to college either?
Bro, I don't know. I have in mind looking at the stats. I'm just minding me.
Yeah, I know. It's just wild to think about the perspective though, right? Like most people are going to spend an extra 4 years at your age right now. I always like the thing I thought about with you is like, dude, if I had started learning sales when I was your age, like Jesus.
Bro, I tell David that all the time. Literally, all the time.
Yeah.
I went to college too.
Yeah, because I'm
Um,
getting close to 30 here soon enough. So it's like that is a head start, my guy.
what's pushing 30? Like, are you 29 or are you like
28.
27 saying you're pushing 30?
I'm 28. It's
Okay.
gonna happen soon enough, dude. Time goes so
I'm
quick, and
25, so we're
28
close.
feels a
We're
lot
close.
closer to 30 than 25, let me tell you.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
It's
Bunch
like
of
it's gonna
boomers on this
the
call.
hairs falling out on the sides. Like, dude, it's gonna happen tomorrow. I'm scared.
No, I feel you though, man. I went to college for 4 years and I worked in corporate America for like technically a year, but I was unemployed for 6 months because I graduated right into COVID shutdowns, May 2020.
Mm,
So I couldn't get a job till like that winter. Nobody was hiring like a college kid. So um, took me forever to get a job. And I finally did, and I hated it. And then I got another job, and I kind of liked it because it was sales, but it was retail sales. And then I got into high ticket sales, man, and the
nice.
rest is history. So.
How did you find out about high ticket sales?
I was looking at like what's next. So I had topped out in the position that I was in. I was hitting pretty much all the bonuses. Like there were a couple that I wasn't hitting that were just super unrealistic to be hitting. Like adding so many business. I worked at Verizon. It was like adding so
Yeah.
many business accounts in a month, which was just not possible. Nobody did that unless you like lied, which some people did. But I was scared to do that because they'll take that money back. So I was like, no, I'm good. But yeah, I was trying to find like what's next, and I found the term high ticket sales. And then I did some research. I ran into a couple of the big gurus back then, like Taylor Welch, the sales mentor, I think,
Yep.
Dan Locke, people like that. And then I ended up just surfing through Facebook. I found JD Daly's UCM free group, and I
Hmm.
was like, "Fuck it!" I've never been in a Facebook group before, and I joined that and followed it for like a month. I was like, "I really like this stuff," and I booked a call with JD, and he closed me on the first call. So, and then
Nice.
that's it, man. The rest is history. I've been on 3 offers since then.
Sweet. Hell yeah. Congrats. It's a
Thanks,
big
bro.
shift. Big shift.
It is. It is.
That's a heck of a set at 15%, dude. Are you set? Is that set and close or just set?
That's set and close. So I set them for
Ah,
myself and then I
okay.
close them.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
But it's
Nice.
nice because I'm in complete control. Like I don't push anybody through that's not qualified and not closable, right?
Yeah. You don't want to waste.
Whereas the previous setter was he not going to say anything bad. I'll put it in numbers. Men lie, women lie, children lie, numbers don't lie. When I was being set for, I was closing at 40%. Now that I'm setting my own appointments, I'm closing at 85%.
It's a big shift. It's like
Oh
Jeez.
yeah.
double.
Well, Mason, you
Not
got pretty impressive numbers yourself. I mean, you're striving upwards, what is it, 2024?
what? K?
Like K commissions per month?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the biggest I hit was like just under 25 at this point. So trying to
Sheesh.
get to consistent 20 is the goal.
Same.
Jeez.
So,
Same.
so it's been I've hit a lot of months close to it, and I've hit a few months above it. But trying to be consistent at it has been the goal for like the last year, I would say.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I shifted offers a few times, and that kind of caused some trouble. But I feel like I'm in a solid spot where I can make it happen with what I have right now. Like first week back right now after traveling should be like a 5K week this week.
That's what's up.
So it's like 8 deals, 5 days. It's like we're firing. The machine is working, dude.
I love that, man. That's where I'm trying to get back to because first of all, we weren't getting leads, and then the leads we were getting were being burned by the aforementioned setter because they were barely setting anybody, and the ones they did set were like just atrocious, super uphill battle.
Mm,
And then now they finally found ad sets that are working, and they just moved him off the calendar yesterday. So it's
okay.
like I'm just excited, man. Like I'm gonna finish this last week strong, and then April's like for me that's gonna be the big month.
How many sets are you setting for yourself per month then?
So I just started setting for myself 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
This month, because lead flow was down, and because I just started getting all of the leads, as of today, technically, but yesterday's when they turned the calendar off. I've set 10 people so far.
Okay. Nice, dude. And that's a
Hmm.
pretty high ticket product too. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not bad.
yeah,
It's not bad. No, has it been 10 or 11? I think it's been 11. I don't remember. However the math works out, I'm closing at like 85 point something percent. I forget the exact number, but it's been like 2 a week because I've been setting for myself for 5 weeks.
two
And
closes or two sets.
2 sets to closes, essentially.
Nice. Nice.
And then this week is when I started getting like crazy lead flow. So I'm excited because before I was getting here, I'll pull my calendar up. Obviously, I can't show you, but I'll tell you. Before this week, I was getting 3 setting calls a day, 2 setting calls a day, 4 setting calls a day, right? And only about half of those show up. And of those half that show up, you and I both know about half are qualified,
Yeah.
right? So it was like trying to find a
Lo-
needle in a haystack for a couple of months, to be completely honest with you. That's why they were paying me that base. But now
Yep.
it's like finally back to where I can perform, and I'm like, oh
Game
yeah,
time.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Are
It's
you,
like I've
so
been
you,
patient.
and
Go ahead.
are you outbound dialing all day or what?
Nope, those are all inbound. We got a dude that handles outbound. I just take all the inbound appointments because we got an ad that they either engage with an automated text or they book themselves directly on to my calendar, and I
Okay.
take all those.
Okay.
And then we
Nice.
got a dude that's doing outbound to try and drum up some more business.
Okay. So you have somebody on it too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whenever I've set for myself, I just like being able to dial outbound too. So if I get a no show, like I can use that time and just hit the power dialer and hopefully get some extra action on it.
That's where I plan to be, but right now, because I'm getting so many inbound
Inbound.
appointments, on those no shows, I use that time to respond to the leads that have engaged. So we
Okay.
get inbound that don't book, but they engage because we get an automated text that goes out basically asking when they want to book their appointment, and they'll give a day and a time. So then I'll
Nice.
follow up with them or I'll call them and confirm. And if I have time, I'll just do the setting call right there. Right.
Smart.
So between those 2 avenues, right now, I'm pretty much booked all day.
Yep.
But eventually, I'm going to need some help. And that's what we were talking about today. I was like, guys, because they want to keep dumping more ad spend, more ad spend, more ad spend. Because prior to me coming on, they did some restructuring. They were doing $1 million a month with 500K in ad spend. They want to get back to 500K a month in ad spend. So I was like, we're gonna need some backup. I can't
Yeah.
I can't take 500K a month by myself. Like
Yeah. Of ad
I'll be
spend.
booking out a month in advance.
Yeah. No, you're gonna need some other people. Is it just you right now?
Yeah. It's just me. We've let go of pretty much everybody else. At one point we had 6 people on the team, but we let go of
Wow.
everybody that wasn't performing, and it just happened to be everybody but me. So
Wow. Well, kudos to you, the last man standing.
thanks, bro. It seems to be a theme, man. But I really
Look,
trust these guys. They've been entrepreneurial partners for 20 years. They got a private jet. Like they know what they're doing. So
yeah.
I'm just here for the ride.
Enjoy, man. Have fun with it.
Of course.
Yep, yep.
Well, good stuff,
So,
guys.
just perhaps just squeezing in like just one last question, because I know, on this podcast we've spoken a lot of, given a lot of advice to new people coming into sales, people growing from 0 to 3K, which is just pushing through a bunch of limiting beliefs, like getting grasp of like the skill set, 3 to 10, getting an idea of the mindset, operating as a business versus an employee in the 9 to 5. And but like for someone who's maybe in like 7 to 10 and never has really broken through like that 10 mark to maybe 15 or 20, like do you have any advice for those guys,
It's a good
I guess
question.
like at that stage?
Yeah, trying to like break from like 7 to like 15 to 20.
Yeah, like is
Uh,
there, because I know you're doing a lot of like mind work and energy work, like is
I've
there
always done a
limiting
lot of.
beliefs?
It really just depends on the person on a case by case basis, but I think like the self care and like it's such a delicate balance as a closer of like we're paid by performance, so like you always need to be going hard, but if you always go hard, you're also going to burn out. So having like routines and rituals in place to take care of yourself and like taking those seriously Like every single week I go to an energy healer. Every single week I'm in the ice bath and sauna. Every single week I hit the gym 3 to 4 times bare minimum, and I'm tracking my sleep. Like I treat myself like a sales athlete. And because of that, like I was able to have more consistent performance and really show up for people energetically. Well, I think that's a big piece of it. And then the other thing I really saw for people is like continuously studying. Like most of the reps on accounts I've been on have not continued to study sales while they're in sales. They only, it's like, it would be like if a boxer only got experience through matches and never sparred outside of it. Like what would you expect of that boxer, right? And I've always listened to other people's calls. I've always listened to my own calls and like done the extra mile. Like if I'm at the gym, I'm usually listening to a sales call. I'm not listening to music. And the reason being is like I'm trying to get every ounce of extra learning to get that little edge in front of everybody else. And the other thing is just like actually being willing to consistently follow up with people. Like as dumb as that sounds, like every rep is missing out on so much in follow up. When there would be slow months on like for example, the TEDx offer, man, like that's when I was like, screw all of you guys, I'm dialing right now. And no one else would just hit the dialer. And I would pull out 2 or 3 deals out of the weeds. So I think it's like taking care of your physiology consistently, getting good sleep, but like just being willing to study and get reps outside of your actual sales job. And if you're doing that, you're setting yourself up to actually be in that position to hit 10, 15, 20K a month.
Can you define what you mean by reps? Do you mean like role plays?
Yeah, I mean like role plays and practicing objection handling and also understanding your own objection handling processes. Like understanding, is it logistical? Is it fear? Like I think when I was brand new, when I would get a partner objection, like I didn't know what I was going to say when I got a partner objection, as an example. I was just like, I think I know what I'm going to say. And then like I would handle it on the fly. So it's like having the replies ready, but also having the reps allows you to start to come up with new questions to ask during objection handling that you haven't thought of before, just because you have so much behavioral flexibility that you're able to keep I think one of the things that's allowed me to close is I can keep the conversation going and not have it be awkward. So if you can just keep it fucking going and not be awkward, you're in a pretty good position to finally find that one hinge that swings the big door and gets them to close. But if you can't,
I couldn't have said it better myself. I literally did that with a lady last week. I spent 2 hours with her, right? Obviously we want to close within an hour. She needed that extra hour of just conversation. Ended up piffing her on 10K.
Yeah.
Right. It was on me strictly because it was that last track I took her down that ended up closing that door. You got her to walk across the finish line.
Yeah.
Right. And that's I'm super happy you said that.
Being able to stay just like calm and neutral. Like I think most salespeople, once they hit objections, like if you're at 7K a month, like you're probably freaking out when you hear an objection. Like I literally go onto a call and my mindset is I'm going to get objections. Even though I'm doing all the right things, I'm going to get objections. So that way, if I don't get them, I'm excited. But if I do get them, I'm not disappointed. Like this is going to be objections. I'm ready. I'm like going into battle.
Prospect, you need to tell me that you need to think about this. You need to think about this.
Yeah, like I had a woman the other day said I want to do it. I'm like, are you sure? And she laughed.
Don't you want to think about it?
Pressure testing. Testing. I love it. Nah, man, I agree with everything you said. I'm big on sleep. I get 8 hours of sleep every single night. A lot of people say it's dumb because you're wasting a third of your life. I think it's vital for success. I think it's vital for your body. I think it's vital for nutrients. And on top of that, I also don't work a ton of hours. Like the reps that want to make a shit ton of money, they've got this weird grind. If you think you can burn out, you're a pussy, like all this weird, crazy stuff. And I don't take a call past 6 p.m. Not going to do it. Never done it. Never will do it. Yeah. Evenings are for personal time, meaning, my devotions, eating, bettering my skill set. I'm not going to cut into that time just so I can potentially make an extra close or an extra setting call. Right. Yeah. And I've been that way my entire sales career outside of my first job when I was a setter. I would set all day. I would dial all day and I burned out super quick. So
yeah.
I get it, man. I agree with everything you said.
I don't recommend it. Some of the most productive times I had was working 4 days a week.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You told me about that summer. I remember you and I were speaking. I was like, dude, I'm burnt out. And then you spoke to me even after our coaching, like, dude, you gotta center yourself. And then you kind of like slapped me across the table, and then I got back.
That's okay. That's normal.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Just that reminder is just helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we
I
all
think
need-
there's so I think there's some like really good keywords as you mentioned, like sales athlete. You know, I want the people listening to just lean on being resourceful, because sales athletes, just look at the NBR stars, just look at any type of athlete and just like do whatever they're doing, right? When it comes to like energy, how they function. Obviously, you don't need to go that insane, but just like do a little bit, and then you ease into like habits and routines, and you start doing it more and more, and you know, getting obsessed. Like breath work, like when Mason mentioned breath work for me first, I was like, this sounds stupid, and then now I'm like, dude, I gotta do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll
Yeah.
keep you midday. It'll get you back straight for sure. It's a good anchor. It's a good way to stay grounded.
Yep.
Well, good stuff, guys.
All right, fellas.
Hopefully I didn't bore you to death here.
No, man. I loved it. I loved it. It's been great. David, I'll let you take us home, kid.
Well, goodbye.